On the night of February 2nd, 1959, 9 experienced hikers disappeared in the freezing Ural Mountains of the Soviet Union. Weeks later, rescuers finally found them. What they discovered shocked the entire world. Their tent had been cut open from the inside. Some of the hikers were found barefoot in temperatures below 20°. Others were discovered miles away. Some had suffered severe internal injuries, but strangely, almost no external wounds. More than 65 years later, no one knows exactly what happened. This is the true story of the Dyatlov Pass Incident. In January 1959, 10 experienced hikers from the Ural Polytechnic Institute set out on a skiing expedition across the northern Ural Mountains. Their goal was to earn the highest hiking certification in the Soviet Union. The group was led by Igor Dyatlov, a 23-year-old engineering student known for his leadership and outdoor skills. Everyone in the group was experienced. They carried proper equipment. They carefully planned their route. Everything seemed normal, but one member, Yuri Yudin, became ill early in the journey and returned home. That decision would save his life. The remaining 9 hikers continued into the mountains. None of them would ever return. On February 1st, 1959, the group reached the eastern slope of a mountain known as Kholat Syakhl. Its name, from the local Mansi language, is often translated as Dead Mountain. Instead of moving into the nearby forest for shelter, they decided to camp on the exposed mountainside. That night, something happened. We still don't know exactly what. When the hikers failed to return on time, families became worried. Search teams were organized. On February 26, rescuers found the tent. It was still standing. Inside were warm clothes, food, boots, and personal belongings. Everything the hikers would have needed to survive. But there was one terrifying detail. The tent had been sliced open from the inside. It looked as if the hikers had escaped in extreme panic. Footprints led away from the tent toward a nearby forest. The first 2 bodies were found beneath a large cedar tree. They were barefoot. They wore only light clothing. Nearby were the remains of a small fire. It appeared they had desperately tried to stay warm. A few hundred meters away, rescuers found 3 more hikers. They seemed to be trying to return to the tent. None survived. Months later, after the snow melted, the final 4 bodies were discovered in a nearby ravine. Their injuries were shocking. Several had massive chest fractures. One had a severe skull injury. One woman, Lyudmila Dubinina, was missing her tongue. Investigators reported that many of these injuries were comparable to those seen in a high-speed car crash. Yet there were almost no major external wounds. The Soviet government opened an investigation. But the case quickly became strange. Officials concluded that the hikers had died because of Gral, a compelling natural force. No further explanation was given. Soon after, the case was closed. Many documents remained classified for years. This secrecy fueled decades of speculation. Over the years, many theories have been proposed. One theory suggests that a small avalanche forced the hikers to cut their way out of the tent. Another proposes that powerful katabatic winds created terrifying conditions. Some researchers believe they became disoriented in the darkness and extreme cold. Others have suggested military testing in the area. Some even blamed UFOs or paranormal events. However, there is no credible evidence supporting those extraordinary claims. In 2021, Russian authorities concluded that the most likely cause was a small slab avalanche, followed by severe hypothermia. Later, independent researchers used computer models to show that this explanation is physically possible under certain snow conditions. However, not everyone agrees. Some experts argue that important questions remain unanswered. Because of this, the Dyatlov Pass incident continues to be debated by historians, scientists, and mystery enthusiasts around the world. 9 young adventurers entered the mountains. Only one returned because he turned back before it was too late. The Dyatlov Pass incident remains one of history's most famous unsolved mysteries, not because there are no theories, but because no single explanation answers every question. Perhaps one day, new evidence will finally reveal what happened on that freezing night in 1959. Until then, the silence of the Ural Mountains keeps its secret. What do you think happened at Dyatlov Pass? Share your thoughts in the comments.